All members of the UN Security Council have voted in favor of a resolution on the Malaysia Airways plane disaster, demanding international investigators get unrestricted access to the crash site. RT's Marina Portnaya was following the meeting.
At least we're seeing right now some consensus coming out of the UN Security Council in respect to this tragic plane crash that claimed the lives of nearly 300 people. The Security Council unanimously adopted a resolution condemning the downing of a Malaysian passenger plane in Ukraine that occurred last week. And the text drafted by Australia and co-sponsored by 13 countries calls for, as you mentioned, a full, thorough and independent investigation into the plane crash. A key focus of the resolution is on the importance of armed groups maintaining the integrity of the crash site. It calls on separatists in eastern Ukraine to provide safe, secure, and unrestricted access to monitors and investigators. Now, Washington and many of its Western allies have and continue to blame anti-Kiev rebels for downing the plane and insisting that Russia also bears responsibility for what they say is backing the separatists.
No resolution would have been necessary had Russia used its leverage with the separatists on Thursday, getting them to lay down their arms and leave the site to international experts, or on Friday, or on Saturday, or even yesterday.
I think today's meeting is not a place for debate, and the US ambassador is again using literary language. Maybe Washington doesn't know about the efforts Russia has gone to, particularly collaborating with a contact group to get international experts to the site of the accident as soon as possible. If this is true, then the US embassy needs to be better informed. This discussion should not turn a tragedy into a farce.
Russian envoy Vitaly Churkin rejected the allegations, accusing the U.S. and its partners of ignoring the violent role he says Kiev has played.
We should refrain from making conclusions and political statements until the investigation is completed. And what we're seeing right now is unacceptable. Kiev, it seems, is trying to use the international community's shock at the crash of the Malaysian plane to build up its punitive military operation in the east of Ukraine. To those members of the Council who assured us earlier that Kiev will use restraint, you have a strange understanding of that word.
Now, the resolution adopted by the UN Security Council also calls for seizing all military activities in the vicinity of the crash site and demands that the armed groups in control of the surrounding area refrain from destroying, moving, or disturbing wreckage, equipment, debris, personal belongings, or any remains. So as we see, at the very least, there's still the blame game going on, but the Security Council has reached consensus and adopted a binding resolution that's calling for a full, thorough investigation with no restrictions to the monitors and investigators.